Well, hey guys, what's going on? Jamie here. Just wanted to do a quick video for AI intuition. We'll do a quick deposit on this video. Just got off a Zoom. I think there was like 400 plus people on that Zoom. Well, this thing is definitely in momentum. Definitely on the higher end of the risk scale, if you ask me. But again, I don't say that in a bad way. Some of you guys like these type of platforms. I get questions all the time over on Telegram, or we get messages all the time, asking for, high risk, high reward platforms. And this one certainly looks like, it seems to be a very popular project. So let's go ahead and jump into this quick video. Of course, I want to start off by saying that I am not a financial advisor. Never take anything I say as financial advice. If you decide to jump into AI intuition or anything in the crypto space or the passive income space, this is not necessarily a crypto platform per se, although you're depositing and withdrawing out in crypto. This one revolves more around online casinos, right? Online gambling. As we mentioned in our video yesterday, if you missed that video, by the way, go ahead and check it out, where we do a quick rundown on how this thing works. And of course, we'll be talking more about that moving forward. In this video, we're just going to focus on how to do a deposit. So let's go ahead and jump in. Of course, follow me on Telegram, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. So yeah, if you look at the back office, right? Of course, if you don't have a back office, you can use the link down below in the description box. It's pretty straightforward. There's a lot of different tabs here. I would suggest you play around with these different tabs just so you get familiar. But there's a lot of different tokens and coins that you can use to deposit into the platform. So we'll show you how to do that. So first things first, what you want to do is you want to click this invest button so you can look at the different plans. Because if you look at the different plans, you'll know how much to deposit, right? How much to fund your account with, because these different plans have different minimums. So, for example, well, let me show you here in the PDF, because it'll show it side by side. If you look at these business day plans, right? These Monday through Friday plans, you have the starter Redato, right? Then you have the basic blackjack, you have the Explorer Golden Gate, you have the Pro plan. If you look at the stats here, this one pays out 3% a day, or business day, for 12 business days. The minimum is $10 or 10 USDT. If you look at this one here, this one pays out, or excuse me, this one the minimum is 50 USDT. This one here, the Explorer Golden Gate, it's 1,000 USDT. The Pro plan, right, 20,000. So you're going to want to know what the minimums are, or how much you can put in, so you know how to fund your account. So, for example, if you wanted to get into, let's say, the Explorer Golden Gate, you know to put in more than 1,000, right? As opposed to if you were going to get into this one here or get into this one, it's a little bit different. By the way, at the end of uh, your term, at the end of your deposit term, you do get your funds back. Um, so, by the way, there's a bunch of plans here. Again, we're not going to go over all of them, but here you have the daily max plan, right? This one pays out uh, Monday through Friday, but these three pay out all calendar days, so 7 days a week. Of course, if you look at the entry, it's a little bit higher on some of these, right? Not all of them, right? Like this one here is 50 USDT, but then this one here is 50,000. Right? This one's 100,000. Then you have these roulette ones, right? So a little bit different as well. So you figure out which one makes sense for you, and which one you want to get into. Um, I'm probably going to jump into this one right here, only because 3.5% in 30 business days, right? So in 30 business days, what is that? If I pull out a little calculator here, 3.5 times 30 business days, that's a little bit over 100%, 105, right? So at the end of 30 business days, which is like, I don't know, a month and 10 days or something like that, we would have made, you know, our deposit back, but then we'll earn 100% as well. So 200%, right? Of course, 100% of that is profit, 100% of that is just getting our funds back. Um, so, the risk here, at least for me, if I want to get into this one, of course, it'd be different if I was getting into another plan. You just calculate it for yourself. The risk here is 30 business days, right? So that makes sense. So anyway, we'll go in here. So you want to look at the different plans as I showed you. Then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go into account balance. and then you're going to figure out what coin or what token you want to put your deposit in. So in my case, a lot of times I'll use USDT TRC20, right? Or a lot of times USDT BEP20, which that's what I'm going to do in this one. But you have a lot of options here. You have Bitcoin, you have Ethereum, you have TRX, you have BNB. And you have some of these other coins here. Since we're going to do USDT BEP20, make sure you using the right one, right? So that way you know which token you're sending. What we're going to do is we're going to click on Get Wallet for replenishment. And then once we click on Get Wallet for replenishment, we go back. It'll show us the wallet address right here, right? So what we'll do is we'll go and hit this saved, and then we'll go into our wallet. Now the minimum that I want to get into is 20,000. So I'll go in here. I'll paste that address in, put in 20,000, and then I'll hit confirm, and then we'll just wait for that to go through. And again, I don't know how long it's going to take. It shouldn't take long, but again, I'm not gonna hold you on this video. Essentially, what's going to happen is once it clears, it'll show up in our dashboard. Okay, and then once it shows up in our dashboard, we would just go to the invest tab. So let me show you here. If I go to overview, it hasn't cleared yet, but it'll show up here right up after a certain period of time. Again, I'm probably not going to be able to show you here on this video, but it'll show up right here. And then what we'll do is we'll go to invest. And then here, in my case, I'll go to the pro plan. I'll go to USDT BEP20 because that's what I deposited, right? Of course, if you deposited something else, you'll, pick whatever token, you went in with. And then here it's already pre-populated because 20,000 is the minimum. Of course, if I was putting 25 or 30, I would just go into the field here and change it. Then I would just click on invest. And that's pretty much it. And then I'm off to the races, right? I'll start in this particular example, I'll start earning 3.5% every business day, right? 24 hours later, right? Of course, every business day, right? Now, of course, if you're making a deposit on Friday, let's say, because this plan doesn't pay out on the weekends, pays out Monday through Friday, your first payout will be on Monday, if that makes sense, right? So just a heads up on that part. But that's pretty much it. I'm just going to wait for it to go through. Oh, there it is. Okay, so we'll go here. Or you walk you through it, but I'll just show you here. Hit the pro plan. I used USDT BEP20. And then here, and then deposit successfully open. So that's pretty much it, guys. Again, we'll talk more about this as we move forward. Just stay tuned for updates. This one here, I mean, the fact that they had over 400 plus people on a Zoom on a Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern, right, or whatever time that is in your neck of the woods, tells you that this is a very popular project. There's a lot of people still coming in, and there are people that are building this thing worldwide. I think it's pretty big in the Asian market, if I'm not mistaken. Well, the reason why I say that, or I include that, is because there are events, at least the last two that I know of. There might have been other ones. So I'm still kind of looking into it. But I know they did a Thailand live event and a Vietnam live event. And I think there's a pretty big team in the Vietnam market. At least that's what they said on the Zoom. So it's pretty big in the Asian market, but of course it's global. But yeah, this thing is cranking away, doing its thing. So if all goes well, in 30 business days, I'll make 100% profit and get my money back, right? And then wash, rinse, repeat. By the way, some of you guys might be thinking, can I create more than one deposit in my account? Yes, you can. You can have multiple ones, right? The other question that they actually addressed on the Zoom that I'll cover here is, can you have multiple accounts? You cannot, if you can't self-refer yourself, because that's kind of a way for people to game the system. Obviously, we don't want anybody to game the system, because when people game the system, then the platform doesn't run as long as it's supposed to. He said you can have multiple wallets or multiple accounts, just not connected to each other. So you can have one under one sponsor, I guess, and one under another sponsor. I guess that's what he meant by that. You just can't have them connected to each other because you can't self-refer yourself, which I agree with because it's not good for people to game the system. The other thing is, one of the things when I first saw this, one of the things that I don't know, it wasn't so much off-putting, but I just wasn't. I guess I've never seen it before. Was the speaker in this case the CEO? He did have a mask on, and I guess it's for him to remain anonymous. So if you see that, it's because he has to remain anonymous. I know they are building out at least from the roadmap, they are looking to build out a physical casino. Um, so that might be another reason why he wants to keep his identity, not known to people. But it is what it is. Some of you guys say, well, doesn't that increase the risk? I've been in platforms where people's faces were shown to the team, the CEO, the owner, their face was shown. They're on social media, and they still did a rug pull. So I don't think it increases or decreases the chance of, or increases or decreases the risk. It just is what it is. For me, the way I look at it is the platform popular, right? Does it have traction? Is there momentum? This case, it is, right? It does have a ton of momentum. And is it paying, right? Because again, that's the two things that I look at. So anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. Just wanted to show you how to make a deposit. I'll catch you in the next video. Of course, do your own research, do your own due diligence, risk capital. Only follow me on Telegram, subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.